ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now. And Richard, still another update on Wall Street.
Scott, it's remarkable. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. But again, the market moved higher. We now are starting our 6th consecutive up week. The Dow and the S&P are right now headed on the track for the best December since 2010. The NASDAQ for the best December since 2013. So whatever measure you use looks pretty darn good. The top to bottom range today for the Dow was 86 points, 75% or 75 points of that on the upside. So let's take a look at the closing numbers. There you see the Dow finished with a gain of roughly 40 points, exactly 0.2%. At 19,883.06 on volume of 679 million shares. The NASDAQ, the leader of the day, up almost 0.4%, just over 20 points, closing at 5,457.44. That on volume of 1,507 million shares. The S&P up exactly the same percentage as the Dow, 0.2%, not quite 5 points at 2,262.53. Well, if you've lived on the Suncoast for any length of time, you probably know the name Lennar Homes. Lennar is based in Miami, but certainly a major builder here on the Suncoast. They surprised Wall Street today with earnings that came in well ahead of expectations. For its fiscal fourth quarter, which ended in November, they had total sales of $313 million, that versus $281. Also in the same quarter, they finished 8,200 homes, well ahead of expectations. And on top of that, they said that their current backlog is more than 6,600 homes during this quarter. And of course, the quarter for them is just getting started because it ended on the 30th of November. So, Scott, it looks like the housing boom is continuing, and we right here on the Suncoast are taking advantage of it.
We're right in the middle of it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And you also have some news on Disney today, Richard.
Yeah, anybody who follows the movie business probably knows that Star Wars The Rogue came out over the weekend. Shares of Disney were up by 1.25% on some pretty darn good turnout numbers.
Yeah, that movie did very well. I'm sure it will throughout the holiday.
Yes.
All right, Richard, great to see you. Thanks again.
Thank you, Scott.